The purpose of this short video is to differentiate my upcoming workshop from what might be called the standard workshop. Most personal growth workshops are based on the idea that psychological techniques have inherent power. Inherent power means that the technique is a powerful tool, and the knowing and practicing it ensures personal growth. Recent research has shown that this assumption isn't true. What this means is that workshops with titles like 14 Ways to Reduce Your Anxiety, or Enhance Your Self-Esteem with These Special Tools, or Explore Your Love Languages to Enrich Your Relationship, are all forms of false advertising. If techniques lack inherent power, then promising that new techniques will improve lives is barking up the wrong tree. Instead, it is important to examine the research and ask why techniques lack inherent power. The simplest way to do this is to adopt a cross-cultural perspective. Different cultures have different faith in different techniques. One culture will promise that your life will work better if you expel the malevolent spirits that are possessing you. Another culture insists that repairing your covenant with the gods ensures a happy life. And the next culture requires one to undergo ceremonies that ward off the evil eye. Whenever one believes in these ideas, undergoing the recommended procedures makes one feel better, or at least one feels better for a while. However, even if one believes in something, a practice based on a falsehood tends to make the improvement rather temporary and transitory. Have you ever noticed that seekers that go to the most self-improvement workshops are rarely the people that are most happy and satisfied? What is common to all these techniques, whether from Western culture or other cultures, is that they function via belief. The research exposing the fact that techniques lack inherent power didn't prove that techniques don't work. It simply showed that the active factor in the improvement is placebo, or faith. The techniques cause improvement, but not in the way they promise. If one wants to make significant, meaningful progress with spiritual growth or personal development, it's vital to understand how standard approaches work and replace those approaches with something more substantial. First, understand that when belief is present, everything works. This implies that psychological reality is so fluid that it can be changed simply by certain qualities of thought. More specifically, one can use the conscious part of the mind to modify the unconscious part. Jonathan Haidt calls this using the rider to modify the elephant. Because this approach is based on understanding the fluid nature of psychological reality, changes made this way are more durable and substantial than ones based on false assumptions. The ideas presented in this workshop are a modern version of what many spiritual traditions call the path of wisdom. Moreover, this approach is based on what is often called secret knowledge. It's called secret knowledge not because no one describes it. Indeed, it is repeatedly discussed in the various mystical traditions. It's called secret because so many seekers get seduced by the simple concept that techniques are the right approach to personal or spiritual development. Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche called this seduction spiritual materialism. This workshop will explore both the limitations of the standard approaches and the special edge one gets when one moves past the standard.